Hey YouTube, this is the Death Scouter making another video, and today we're going to be replacing the cooling fan assembly on a 2006 Jeep Commander. And we know this is not working because the air conditioning is not getting very cool, and when we inspected it while it was running, we noticed that at no time does the cooling fan turn on. And as you can see from the new unit here, this is an electric motor. There's our connector. We do have to disconnect the connector there. There is a piece that mounts to that. And then removal and installation should be as simple as putting in 4 10mm bolts off to the side. Now, looking down on this, we see that part of the AC system here looks like it may be in the way. And then upon closer inspection, I actually believe that we could, once the bolts are out, we could swing this thing out almost counterclockwise, pull it away from this congestion over here, and then lift the thing up. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to look down in here and make sure the electrical connections are disconnected. So we have the connection here to the motor, and you can see this is a tab. You pull up and then disconnect, but we also have the wires coming off of this module and then routed through the wire guides here, keeping everything in place. We'll take a look at that on the new one just to give us an idea as to how to get these wires off. So we see that the wire guide is this little hook here as well as this hook here. So we'll just what I'm going to do is I'll disconnect that white piece that you saw up here, 10mm nut or 10mm bolt, get a little bit of play, disconnect the wiring harness here, and then we should work up enough slack that we can disconnect it from, it looks like it's interweaved through here. And we'll disconnect the wires and get that out of the way, and then we'll focus on these 10mm bolts on the side and lift it out. So at the risk of another shaky video with my little handheld camera, I'm going to go ahead and take care of those now and pull off the 10mm screws. And then if this does not come out super smooth and easy, then I'll fire the camera back on and we'll work through it together, and you'll see what it takes to get this thing out. So be right back. Okay, so I got the old one out. What an absolute pain in the ass it was. Because of the tabs on the side, we zoom in, those tabs right there for the top screw, here on the driver's side of the car, had to disconnect the upper antifreeze radiator hose and get that out of the way. And then it's really just a game of trying to manipulate the mounting screws on the passenger side around all these different coolant wires. Now, I do have some space here because this only has a 3.7 liter engine in it, so I don't know how much space you'd have in the 4.7 engine, but the 3.7 is tight. And now I have built some antifreeze, which is no big deal. But the only other thing I wanted to point out is here. There's some tabs here that lock the wiring harness, or hold the wiring harness firmly to the bottom. I just pulled those out, and then it's just a matter of putting it in here and maneuvering it down into this hole to get it to go back in place. And the only other thing that seemed to be holding me up is this tab here. There we go. This tab here on this piece of air conditioning hose. This is the tab that actually sits right in here as well. So this one 10mm bolt holds all this into place. So just be aware of that. You do have to maneuver around that. So now comes the challenge of trying to put it all back together. And for that I will need both hands, so hold please, and I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, so the replacement fan assembly went in much easier than the original came out. The only thing, I got down underneath here, and actually instead of leaning over the shroud from the top, I found that just getting underneath here, because of the ground clearance of the vehicle, getting to the bottom screws was quite easy. I went ahead and reconnected my wiring harnesses, and the one thing that I did want to point out, before you try to put the new assembly in, this white switch unit here, this temperature, I believe it's a temperature sensor or temperature activated switch, the mounting bracket for this needs to come off the old one and onto the new one before you put the new fan assembly into the vehicle. I was still able to do it after the fact. It just took me a little bit extra effort, but I'd recommend making sure that this little wire clip on the other side that holds this together is transferred over before the new one. And then after that, all you need to do is make sure that all your wiring is retraced and that the shroud is screwed down securely. Reattach your upper radiator hose, and this is another project done. I did have the vehicle over to Firestone. They wanted $350 to do this. I bought this part from Advanced Auto for $109, had it delivered to my house for free. I didn't even have to leave the door to get it. And so it probably about 25 minutes worth of work saved me $200. So enjoy the video. I hope this comes in handy. Thank you.